temperatures really begin to fall, that we've got as much possible treatment as we can.
ARDOT crews working to treat the roads ahead of a winter storm system headed our way. We'll have a live report on how they're preparing.
And that winter storm warning is already in place across northwest Arkansas ahead of that winter weather for tomorrow. We'll talk about the latest details coming up.
Plus, deadly weather sweeps through the south. We'll take a look at the flooding and high winds, plus a story of survival.
But first, a live look outside in Bentonville here at 6:30. A beautiful sunrise to start this Monday. 5 News This Morning starts now.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, hey, good morning. You take a look at that shot that we just showed you, and you don't even think what's headed our way, right?
It's the calm.
I feel like it's been a while since we've seen colors like that in the sunrise.
It is. We're taking today to take a breather. It's going to be okay. The end of the week will be here eventually.
Get your groceries today,
though.
Until then, though, that's where we get a little bit of craziness tomorrow, though. Let's worry about that tomorrow. Let's worry about the sunshine for today. All right, let's talk about it, though. We got that winter storm warning already in place across northwest Arkansas ahead of tomorrow's system. Again, the timing for this is right around 9-10 a.m. We'll start to see those first snowflakes, but really picking up in activity by the time we get to the afternoon to the evening on Tuesday and lasting until early on Wednesday morning, talking about 1-2 in the morning. All right, let's take a look at also what we're talking about when it comes to not only the snow and the ice, but also how cold it's going to be. That extreme cold is going to be upon us by the time we get to Tuesday evening, really on Wednesday and Thursday morning, though, where wind chill values are going to be anywhere as a range between -5 to -20, especially in northwest Arkansas. We could see closer towards that -20 range. It is going to be the worst, the coldest air that we have felt so far this season, and it's going to be by a lot. All right, let's take a look at that winter weather impacts, what we're expecting over the next several days. Tuesday, we are hyper-focused on the chances for the precip coming down across the area. Wednesday and Thursday, though, that concern then turns to how cold it's going to be. It's going to be important to take those home preps now when it comes to what that system's going to look like. Mostly snow in northwest Arkansas. As you work south, though, sleet and snow mix in and around I-40, and south of I-40, we get that sleet and freezing rain mixture that's going to cause some issues of its own. For accumulation, extreme northwest Arkansas, generally, we're thinking right around 6 to 8 inches of snowfall will be possible. In the Boston Mountains, parts of Washington and Madison County, we will see anywhere between 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. As you work south into the river valley, though, much less in the way of accumulation, but some ice, some sleet, and some freezing rain is going to mix in along with those snowflakes, causing its own impacts. We'll talk about it coming up.
All right, thanks for that. Now, the 5 News Weather Impact Team is here to help you prepare for the winter storm. So what questions do you have before the winter weather moves in? Text on the Chief Meteorologist, Scott Covert, 479-785-5000. Again, you can just send your questions to that number there on the screen. Scott will take the top questions, answer them tonight at 6:30 on 5+. You can learn how to download 5+ by scanning the QR code right there on your screen. It's available for Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. So download 5+ and join us for Ask Scott tonight at 6:30, right after your 5 News at 6. Well, road crews already working to stay ahead of this winter weather.
The Arkansas Department of Transportation started treating roads over the weekend, but they say the system could still cause problems for drivers. 5 News reporter Morgan Wrigley is live with what you need to know. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Well, ARDOT crews are starting early. They're trying to get ahead of what could be a mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow this week. They say their biggest concern is the fact that temperatures are going to stay below freezing for an extended period of time. Now, crews are focusing on bridges, overpasses, and less traveled highways first, laying down salt brine to keep ice from bonding to the pavement. Spokesperson Dave Parker says once this winter weather moves in, plows will be out working in 12-hour shifts to clear as much as possible. But with extreme cold in the forecast, conditions could stay hazardous for days. He says those conditions combined with the mix of precipitation creates a tricky situation.
For drivers, it's more than just a heads up, more than just be alert, but be super careful out there. I fully anticipate for schools to be closed, and if you can't stay at home work-wise, and please do that. This is not going to be a driving in the snow type of thing where traction will still be decent. If we've got freezing rain and snow on top of ice and freezing rain and sleet, it's going to be really, really tough out there.
That's why ARDOT is urging everyone to stay off the roads if you can during this event. They're going to have their crews out plowing and again treating the roads, even using beet juice in some areas, which they say helps lower that freezing point on the roads. And our crews will be keeping you updated throughout this whole thing as well. So stay with 5 News for the next few days as we continue to track this. For now, we're live in Springdale, covering news where you live. Morgan Wrigley, 5 News.
All right, thanks for that, Morgan. But what temperatures are expected to drop below freezing? Here are a few warming centers expected to open for those in need. Seven Hills will have multiple locations open, including Genesis Church and Jefferson Elementary in Fayetteville. In Fort Smith, Hope Campus and the Salvation Army in the downtown area will be set up as warming centers.
And this morning, a reminder of some things to keep in your car for that emergency kit through this winter weather. Keep a full gas tank, of course, in case you get stuck on the road longer because of any wrecks. And then jumper cables, a first aid kit, charger, a flashlight, flares, snacks, and water. Don't forget items to stay warm, like mittens, hats, and a blanket, and also maybe a snow shovel. In other news this morning, at least 10 people are dead after a series of weekend storms wreaking havoc across the South. You see this video here of heavy rain, flooding, tornadoes hitting multiple states all across the country. Jared Hill has the latest.
This morning, ongoing concern after torrential weekend rain led to intense flooding across the South.
It's all in the roads in front of our house.
From West Virginia, where this car was seen coasting through floodwaters, to Tennessee and Kentucky. Swollen waterways created dangerous conditions for thousands on the roads, prompting this warning from the state's governor.
Give time for the water to go down. So many of these fatalities were due to attempts to drive through water and through moving waters.
At least 9 people were killed in Kentucky. Among the dead, a woman and her 7-year-old child. Further south in Hale County, Alabama, the National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado touched down. Mobile homes destroyed, but no lives lost. But in Atlanta, Georgia, one person was killed when a tree fell through their home early Sunday morning. In the Midwest, winter weather caused headaches on the road. In Chicago, a woman had to be taken to the hospital after her car plunged into an icy Lake Michigan. An amazing story of survival in Colorado, where a driver survived an avalanche.
A few people were kind enough to come down and throw me a rope.
Back east, communities hit by wind and rain are bracing for another weather issue. Bitter cold. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, steep cuts in the federal workforce are leaving thousands of employees without a job. At least 1,300 people have been laid off at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. More than 1,000 employees have been cut from the Department of Veterans Affairs. And thousands of probationary workers across multiple departments received termination notices last week. Among them is a Navy veteran based in Nevada, fired from the Department of Education.
Government reform can be a good thing, but it's not good to take broad sweeping actions that don't take into account people's lives, their performance, or, their service to this country.
The job cuts are being challenged in the courts. They're part of at least 70 lawsuits this new Trump administration is facing.
This morning, police are asking for your help locating a woman who went missing 9 years ago. Tammy Jo Throwkill disappeared on the morning of February 16th in 2016. Over the weekend, the Benton County Sheriff's Office shared this photo with details on her disappearance, saying that she was last seen standing near a wooded area by her home on Bullinger Avenue, or Lane rather, in southern Siloam Springs. Investigators say she hasn't been seen or heard from since. If you have any information, you're asked to reach out to the Benton County Sheriff's Office.
All right, let's get a traffic update for you this morning. Again, the calm before the storm out there. Going to see some sunshine, a little bit warmer today as well as you head out the door. Don't need to worry about any accidents or slowdowns out there. Here's a live look out across I-49 there in Springdale. Sunrise coming up. Nice for today. Traffic moving smoothly. Again, enjoy the day today. We'll talk about what that winter storm will look like for you tomorrow coming up in just a bit.
Well, happening today, protesters are planning together at the Washington County Courthouse.
Yeah, organizers say that they'll be focused on issues surrounding the Trump administration and protesting policies that they believe threaten America's democratic institutions.
Overall outcome is to connect people with their community and the boots on the ground organizations that are already doing the good work. We want people to connect with them, to connect with each other, to empower each other, and then to take action now.
The protest will be part of a nationwide movement happening today on President's Day called the National Day of Protest.